With the end game of One Piece rapidly approaching and Wano seemingly coming to an end at some point, my mind has been consistently thinking of the future of One Piece and some of the matchups that could happen between the Straw Hats and other strong individuals in the One Piece world. Lately though, one antagonist that I've been thinking of the most, which may be also the most important antagonist for Luffy in the story, is Marshall D. Teach, Blackbeard. So today we will be discussing the potential matchups for the Blackbeard Pirates and the Straw Hat Pirates, and I've tried my best to make some sort of correlation between the Straw Hats and the Blackbeard Pirates, since there seems to be an even number of Straw Hats to where there are Blackbeard Pirates. Now, some things of note here. Aokiji could be involved in the altercation. Also, Blackbeard could potentially get other crewmates, but I won't speculate too much on that because we have no idea who he would add to his crew. The other thing to take into consideration is if Yamato joins the crew or if Momonosuke or Tama join the crew. So I will take that into account towards the end of the video. However, most of these matchups will be from the core Straw Hats we have now and the core Blackbeard Pirates we have as well. But before we get into the video, I want you guys to do me a favor. If you have ever had a mother or a father or both at the same time, I want you to hit that like button down below. And also while you're at it, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications so you never miss an upload. Let's get into the video. So of course we can get the most obvious matchup out the way, and that of course is going to be Luffy and Blackbeard. We don't really have to discuss this too much, but I want to talk briefly just about the parallels between the two, because they have been set up since Jaya, all the way in the beginning of One Piece. Luffy and Blackbeard seem to have some similar ideals, but they are just the opposite people when it comes to how they are pushing those ideals. Blackbeard being someone that's more chaotic, more willing to do anything to accomplish his goals and to live his freedom. However, Luffy has some boundaries he's not willing to overstep, one of which, the biggest boundary that he will not break and probably won't break throughout the rest of the story, is killing. He does not kill. This is something that Shanks instilled in him in the beginning of One Piece, telling him that needless killing is pointless. There's no point in killing people over minuscule things, and that's how he's been living his life. Whereas Blackbeard will do literally anything to get what he wants, and that definitely includes killing other individuals. Because Luffy and Blackbeard are so similar in certain ways, but also so very different in others, I think it's very poetic for them to fight, and even though we already know these two are going to clash at some point, it's still nice to talk about. So the next matchup I want to bring up is another kind of obvious one, and that is Frankie's matchup. And of course, it's going to be Jesus Burgess. Frankie has consistently had some of the coolest and manliest fights within One Piece, and I think Jesus Burgess is somebody that is strong enough to give Frankie a challenge, but not too strong to where he would overpower him. He is the helmsman of the Blackbeard Pirates, and he has a really cool nickname. His nickname is Champion, which is really funny because a lot of people in the community seem to, crap on Jesus Burgess, but I think that Jesus Burgess just got a bad rap because he fought a very powerful individual, being Sabo, during Dressrosa. But the fact that this guy is a wrestler, and we have Frankie, and we've seen frankly German suplex people before, I think it would be super awesome if these guys had a fight that really looked like a pseudo wrestling match between two men. I mean, what gets more manly than two burly, big-chested guys just completely wrestling each other? And I just know that Frankie and Jesus Burgess have the potential to have one of the coolest matchups that we've seen in One Piece, period. I can't wait to see these two guys throw down with each other. I also want to make an honorable mention because I did try to correlate these in some ways, either it was narratively or just some kind of patterns that match. And Jinbei is also the helmsman of the Straw Hats, so he is someone to mention when talking about Jesus Burgess. However, I think it's going to be Frankie, and I think Frankie makes a little bit more sense. So next up we have Shiryu's matchup. Now Shiryu's matchup can be really just two people, honestly. The big main one that people like to throw out there to fight Shiryu is the green-haired goblin, Big Luigi himself, Roanoa Zorro. Now, Zorro fighting Shiryu is because of two simple things. One, Zorro seems to fight who is deemed to be the second strongest on the crew normally when they're, opposing someone. Now, we don't know if Shiryu is the second strongest, but we do know that he's relative to Magellan, who is pretty powerful. And even though Jesus Burgess is the first Titanic captain, their structure doesn't work like other pirate crews. It's kind of a free-for-all. It's very much a parallel of Whitebeard's pirate crew, where there are multiple commanders in first, second, third, fourth down, but that doesn't depict his strength. You could have someone in Whitebeard's crew who's the commander of the 4th division that's just as strong as the 2nd division commander, and so on and so forth. And that's the same thing with the Titanic captains. We do not know how strong each of these individuals are, but Shiryu just has the portrayal on his side, and we've seen him during Impel Down be deemed relative to Magellan, being that second in command there and helping him out with some of the strong prisoners. So because of him seemingly being powerful and him having a sword, people just naturally want Zorro to fight him, so I had to put Zorro in here as a potential matchup for Shiryu. Now the other potential matchup for Shiryu was clearly Vinsmoke Sanji, and it's just obvious. Shiryu has the fruit that Sanji wanted. He has Absalon's fruit. We know this. We've seen Shiryu turn invisible using Absalon's fruit. This is the fruit that Sanji wanted, and you know why he wanted the fruit was very questionable, but you know, we're not here to judge Sanji today. I think that narratively Sanji has a better reason to fight Shiryu, but I think Zorro has the cooler matchup, if that makes sense. But I'm cool with either one of them. So next up we have Van Auger, and just like Jesus Burgess and Blackbeard, his matchup is pretty much clear. We know that Usopp is going to fight Van Auger, and I think this matchup between Van Auger and Usopp may be the very first like sniper battle within One Piece. We might get to see them in different locations, you know, while the fight's going on, trying to shoot at other oppositions or also trying to shoot at each other from long distances, and I think that that's going to be super cool and something unique that we haven't really got to see yet in One Piece. And it's just really cool to think about that Usopp could potentially grow in this fight, become somebody that could actually have a sniper battle with someone else, and Van Auger might take Usopp to that next level. Some people are saying Usopp needs to work on his observation. I agree 100%. He is going to need his observation haki to be able to fight Van Auger here, especially if they're going to do the sniper battle like I mentioned previously. Usopp not being able to use observation at this point, not being able to see far, to be pristine with his aiming is going to be very detrimental in his fight against Van Auger, because we've seen Van Auger hit things from super far away with pinpoint accuracy. This guy is dangerous. He was in level 6 and impaled down like the rest of the Titanic captains, so this guy is nothing to play around with. So next up we have Avalo Pizarro. Now this guy is somebody that just looks really cool, but we didn't know a lot about him, so I did some research. I find out that he's called the Corrupt King, and he had a life sentence in level 6 of Impel Down. Basically, his crimes were so atrocious, he had to be erased from history. So the things that he did were so bad, they had to try to pretty much, you know, blackball him from existence, which is crazy to think about. But what's interesting and what led me to a potential matchup for him was that he was once a king of a North Blue kingdom, but they ended up overthrowing him because of how messed up he was and all the things he was doing. So this made me think, what other Straw Hat is from the North Blue? Sanji. What was Sanji doing when he lived there? He was a part of the Germa Kingdom, another kingdom in the North Blue. So I said that makes a lot of sense. Maybe Sanji and Avalo Pizarro could fight. That's the only tie to any Straw Hat I could find with him, because his personality doesn't match up too well with any of the Straw Hats. But the fact that he was once a king in the North Blue and Sanji is a prince of a kingdom that originated in the North Blue, and I think it could create a cool dynamic between the two. Maybe they could have dialogue in which they would discuss, you know, hey, I'm from the North Blue too. They could talk about some things from the North Blue. Maybe they could relate why they fought, and I think it would be pretty interesting to see that interaction. Also, maybe Avalo knows some things about the German kingdom, some secrets, or something about, you know, Judge, or something about Sanji's backstory, and maybe he could use that information to taunt him while they fight, creating a very interesting and thematic fight. So I think Avalo's matchup could potentially be Sanji. I could be completely wrong, but the North Blue thing is really cool. So next up we have Lafitte. Now to me, I think Lafitte could have one of two matchups. Now I know a lot of you probably don't know anything about the rest of these Titanic captains, so I'm going to read information that I've, you know, researched and found out about him. So he lived in the West Blue and he worked as a sheriff, but he ends up getting exiled because he was like pretty much cruel, and he did his job in a very cruel way. So his personality is very interesting, and I found a couple ties to different people, right? So he's a very malevolent person, a very demented individual, but he's very refined and sophisticated. So he speaks very politely and courteous, and he acts kind of gentleman-esque. We see this before when Avalo was talking about replacing Teach as captain. He still threatened Avalo, but he did it very refined. And we also see him when he reprimands Burgess for calling Teach captain instead of admiral. So we see that he has this gentleman-esque vibe to him, which made me think of two people, either Sanji or Brook. Now I don't know exactly if this guy fights like Sanji, but we do know that he is a stealth master, which makes me think that perhaps perhaps he could fight Sanji, because we know Sanji had that whole stealth thing going on with him. Now, the other person I thought of was Brook, because of the whole gentleman thing, the fact that he dances. Brook is a singer, so I thought perhaps they could have some sort of correlation between that, because Brook talks very fancy as well and very refined at times, even when he's joking about panties and things like that. So I thought that that was cool. But there's one more person I thought could be a potential matchup for Lafitte, and it's because of two different things. Lafitte is the navigator of the crew, so I thought, okay, maybe Nami could have a fight with Lafitte. They are navigators. Maybe they could be navigating ships and having some sort of ship battle. But then I also seen that he has a devil fruit that helps him fly. He grows wings and he flies. Well, who on the Straw Hats could fly? Well, there's someone on the Straw Hats that has the potential to fly for long distances. We just haven't seen it yet. We know that Zeus helps Big Mom fly, so I would only imagine that if Nami needed to fly, that she could also be held up by Zeus. I mean, look at Nami, look at Big Mom. One is a huge bitch and the other is Nami. So I mean So because of that, I'm thinking that Zeus could probably help Nami fly, and maybe they could have an airborne battle. That'll be cool. Maybe Nami's throwing lightning bolts at this guy, who knows? So the next one on the list is Katarina Devon. Now, a lot of people know Katarina Devon. She's the Crescent Moon Hunter. We also know that she has the Inu Inu no Mi, the Maru Kyuubi no Kitsune, which is, you know, a long name, but basically it allows her to transform into a nine-tailed fox, and with this power, she can transform into clones of people, similar to the main no Mi. We also know that besides Big Mom, she is said to be the most dangerous pirate that is a female. Well, honestly, this is a female, and Nami probably isn't going to be strong enough to fight someone this powerful. Because of that, I'm going to say perhaps this will be a fight for Robin. I think that Robin has the potential combat-wise to be able to fight Katarina Devon. Now, I know I said that Nami could maybe fight Lafitte, and we know Lafitte is also very powerful, but this is the strongest female pirate, and I think that Robin would fit right into this niche here. And I also think it would be a very cool fight to see. You got someone that can clone into other people, and then you got Robin who can actually make clones of herself. They could have like a whole clone battle, you know? Katarina Devon clones into someone or something, and then you got Robin having her clone. I just think that this fight would be super interesting. Who doesn't like a little girl on girl? I mean, I'm just kidding. But no, I really think that Nico Robin fighting her would be a very interesting fight. I also think that even more than the Black Maria fight, this gives Robin a very good chance to show off her combat prowess, especially over someone as powerful as Katarina Devon, said to be the strongest female pirate, next to Big Mom, of course, like I said, but also someone that came from level 6 impel down. I mean, come on, who doesn't want to see that fight? Now, next up, we have San Juan Wolf. Now, San Juan Wolf is an interesting one. He's a little weird, but he's a giant. He's freaking huge. They call him the Colossal Battleship. That's his like nickname, his epithet, because of how big he is. So he is someone else like a Valo whose crimes have been erased from history as well as his existence. No one seems to know much about him, but he does have a playful attitude, and we see this when he's trying to hide behind the Marine headquarters, which is really cool. He's also really shy, it says, and he acts scared when people realize who he is and they see him. Now, this is someone that I would love, and I mean love, to see fight Jinbei Knight of the Sea. I could see Jinbei being in a fight with this guy, big, burly giant. We know Jinbei has some beef with, you know, giants, it seems. Him and Big Mom got their beef, so it would be really cool to see maybe Jinbei fights this guy. We know that he has a devil fruit. He's a big target. He's weak to water because of the devil fruit. Perhaps Jinbei could use his fisherman karate and, you know, his water techniques in the ocean to help him fight this huge giant. I could definitely see that. We've seen him hit someone very big before. He hit Big Mom off the back of the ship. Of course, Big Mom was kind of nerfed at the time, but, you know, nonetheless, he still did it, and it was still a feat. So we've seen that he has power to take on very big enemies, and that's why I think that maybe San Juan Wolf would be a good matchup for him. But also, I thought, well, perhaps Nami could be a good matchup for San Juan Wolf, and let me explain. I know this is a little more far-fetched, however, just hear me out. So we know that San Juan Wolf is shy and playful. Now I was thinking, what if Nami doesn't really fight him, but convinces him not to fight? Nami seems to have that vibe where she can talk to kids and things like that and get close to them, and they like Nami, and maybe he's a big kid at heart, and perhaps Nami can use that to her advantage to get this shy and playful person to maybe not turn on Blackbeard, but just keep them occupied, keep them out of the battle. I think that would be interesting. Maybe Nami uses abilities other than just being strong to defeat someone, and I think that that's interesting, and it would be really cool to see. And actually unique. I don't want to see a situation in which Nami convinces San Juan Wolf to like help them against the Blackbeard pirates, but I think it would be pretty cool to see her like preoccupy him. She did the same kind of thing with Zeus now, but you know, she took Zeus and things like that. I don't think she's gonna take San Juan Wolf, but I believe it's within Nami's character to do those types of things with San Juan Wolf. So next up we have Vasco Shot. So Vasco Shot is a guy that's just a drunk, man. This guy is, you know, very combat savvy and he's very big, second to San Juan Wolf in size, but he's just a big drunk, man. This guy just gets drunk a lot. And that's pretty much, you know, what his character is. Now seeing this big drunk guy, I instantly thought maybe Zorro would be a cool fight for him because we know that Zorro loves drinking. And I was thinking, man, that would be kind of cool to see, you know, Zorro fighting this guy that also drinks a lot. But I think Zorro is probably going to fight Shiryu most likely. But then I thought about either Frankie or Jinbei. This guy is huge, manly, burly, drinks a lot. So I think that those two fighting him would be cool as well. Other than that though, he doesn't have anything very unique to him and it's hard to make a correlation between him and any of the other Straw Hats. So I think it's just going to be kind of like a power thing and not a narrative thing. And then finally we have Doc Q. Now Doc Q is the doctor of the Blackbeard pirates and he has his partner, his horse with him Stronger. Now I think that his matchup is going to be no one because I think Chopper is going to fight the horse. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm kidding. No Chopper slander, right? No Chopper slander. Okay, I'm sorry. Chopper's more than a pet, guys. All right, I think that Chopper's going to fight Doc Q. They're both doctors. I think that this matchup is awesome. If he fights the doctor on Blackbeard's crew, I think that narratively it makes sense. I think it would also be really cool to see if Doc Q had any cool doctor things up his sleeve, you know, to go against Chopper and vice versa. If Chopper had any cool things up his sleeve, you know, if he had a way to use Monster Point indefinitely instead of the time limit, if he learned basic armament hockey with his Monster Point, who knows? But I think seeing the two doctors fight, you know, makes the most sense to me, and this is the one fight I think that makes the most sense for Chopper other than the horse. You know, I'm just kidding. Now, if Yamato, Tama, or Momonosuke join the crew, I really don't see like any potential matchups that make a ton of sense narratively. I think Yamato's just strong, so he would probably just fight someone like Avalo or Vasco Shot, San Juan Wolf, or Katarina Devon. Yamato would just fight someone strong. I don't think that there's a narrative fight for him. Maybe if Tama and Momonosuke were on the crew, they could fight San Juan Wolf because he's playful and kiddish too. Maybe they could get along with each other and just stay out of the fight. I don't know. I can't really find any specific fights for them, but the other Straw Hats, it seemed kind of easy to pinpoint to like certain narrative like ties to certain characters. There's also a possibility this could just be a big brawl, or there could be a Davy Beck fight or something like that, and it might not be one-on-one matchups. However, I do want to talk about the potential matchups between the Straw Hats and the Blackbeard pirates because it's just very interesting. But of course, this is just my theory for the matchups between the two pirate crews, but I want to know all of yours, so make sure you comment down below, let me know your thoughts on this and what matchups you would pick. Also, my Discord link is down below as well. Make sure you click that and join the Synsei Grand Fleet server. As always, I hope you all are staying safe and healthy during these trying times. This has been Synsei Inc., and I will see you all in the next video.